Welcome back to another video, guys. This one is well and truly delayed, which I'm sorry, but we're finally going to get there. Today we're talking about the Vortex range of boards. Today we're talking about the Vortex range of boards. I'm going to make this as simple and straightforward as possible. The video, I'm going to break it up into multiple segments so you can skip forward to which segment you want to see first or want to know more about. To give you an overview, guys, we have the bamboo here in a direct drive on the end, which also comes in a belt drive. We have the carbon here in the 5255 belt drive motor, which also comes in the direct drive format as well. And the Carbon Pro here, which is our newest board to the range. It's got this new grip tape design, which is fantastic. You can actually option your board, your standard carbon with this grip tape if you like. But the Carbon Pro features our 6368 belt drive motors, which are our biggest motors available. And the Pro only comes in the belt drive format. And on other lines, we also have just launched the Carbon Mini series, which is personally my favorite board. This board is super cool, super portable, and arguably probably one of the most powerful boards of its size and class. It has a whopping 45k range, which is phenomenal for a board of this size. We run premium 21700 cells in it. But enough of this. I'm not going to talk about this board in this video. I'm going to give this a segment of its own because I believe it really deserves its own little feature. So we'll talk about this one in another video, so keep your eyes out for that. So moving on, I'm going to do a bit of an overview on motors. Now, motors, you have the choice of a direct drive or a belt drive setup. In the direct drive, we run 1600 watts dual motors, and the belt drive on the Carbon, for example, we run them 5255, which is the motor dimensions. Which are dual 1500 watts. So you're talking 3200 watts of power in direct drive and 3000 watts of power in belt drive. In the Carbon Pro, however, the 6368s are the biggest motors, which you can evidently see comparatively here. These are dual 2200 watts, which are going to put out a maximum of about 4400 watts. Insane amount of power. The difference between your direct drive and your belt drive, direct drive motors are traditionally super smooth, super quiet. They are efficient, also low maintenance, and they are probably going to be the ideal motor of choice for just cruising and carving and that sort of stuff. Really low sound, virtually like dead quiet. I'll show you a bit of a sound comparison later. Whereas on the other hand, the belt drive motors are more ideal for acceleration and torque. They pick up a lot more torque through the gearing and the belts and whatnot. Obviously, they do put out a lot more noise and wind through that setup. Not the end of the world. Although they do require a bit more tuning and love TLC with the belt tensions and what have you. Again, not the end of the world, super easy once you know how to do it. So I would say the belt drives personally are more going to be an ideal option for those who want to go to bigger wheels and do a bit more off-roady sort of riding. That's probably going to be the motor of choice. Moving on to the bamboo series, the first thing to note with the bamboo is we use an 18650 cell, whereas the carbons we use a 21700 cell. Still, both boards we use Samsung or LG battery cells, whichever is available at the time, so we always use the best cells we can. In the direct drive bamboo, we run in a 36 volt, which allows us to have a 10 amp or a 14 amp battery option. So essentially a 35 or a 50k range battery, which as I said earlier in the video, the direct drives are a dual 1600 watt, so 3200 watts of power. Or you have the option in the bamboo of the 44 volt 12S configuration belt drive, and the reason why we run a higher voltage in the belt drive is just to really support that acceleration and torque side of things, is the general gist of it. Now that is a dual 1500 watt 5255 motor into the belt drive on the bamboo, which is much the same as what we have here on the carbon. You do also get a carbon battery case standard on the bamboo, and that really just helps protect the battery from gutter rash. It also makes it more dust and waterproof as well, but you're definitely gonna find that you're gonna miscalculate something somewhere along the line, and you're gonna hit that battery on the gutter or whatever it may be. You're gonna get it scuffed up and what have you, so it's good reassurance to know that on the bamboo you're gonna have a very well protected battery. So moving on to the carbon fiber fully enclosed molded deck, we have a 21700 cell standard on this board, which is a 15 amp hour 12S 44 volt system, which you have the choice of a dual 1500 watt belt drives or dual 1600 watt direct drive motors. So again, it comes down to whether you like the silent motors that are super cruisy and for carving and whatnot, or if you want the belt drives, which are going to be better for torque and acceleration and all that sort of stuff. So that is your carbon fiber board there of the standard model. In the Pro board here, we do same battery, 12S 15 amp hour 44 volt Samsung battery with a 6368 dual 2200 watt motor. So we're talking 4400 watts plus of peak power. So it's just incredible amount of power. So that's an option there as well if you're more of a serious rider, or maybe you just simply want more beef to get you through some of the hard off-road stuff where you might lose traction on some of the smaller motors. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about the standard specs of all the models now. So the Hobbywing ESC we run standard on all our boards, which is this fella here. It is incredibly reliable. It has multiple protection modes, including low voltage cutoff, thermal protection, signal loss, motor lockup protection, short circuit protection, overcharge protection, and pretty much where the remote will automatically decrease any performance once protection is activated. So it's a super safe system. It also is shock resistant as well as water and dust proof, protected as well of, I believe, IP65. So super cool and safe system to be running, hence why we use it on all our boards. We also have a advanced remote controller which operates, you got 3 speed modes from low, high and beast mode, which obviously increases and decreases your performance on your and how you want to ride. You can also change the wheel drive direction from forward and reverse. You've got cruise control, you've got your odometer, your speed, your trip, your battery levels, your wheel diameter adjustment, and all that in there, which keep in mind, if you do change your wheel size, you do want to make sure that you're updating that in the remote so that your speed and everything stays accurate. We also run our 97mm wheels as standard. That is primarily because it gives you the most optimal amount of range and it seems to be the most popular wheel choice. You do have heaps of options, which I'll talk about in a moment, but essentially if you opt to upgrade your wheels with the board purchase, you will get a bit of a discount on the wheel price at the same time, which is handy. But you do have plenty of options from 97mm right up to 155mm, which is about 6-inch pneumatic all-terrains that we do. If you want a bit more height and all-terrain ability, they are an awesome choice. We also have the 9-inch double kingpin carved truck on all the boards as standard, except for the Grom actually, where we run a 7-inch single kingpin, so slightly different setup. So all of the boards are going to be super waterproof too, given they're all fully sealed, sealed controllers and everything. So you're going to have an IP65 waterproofing on all the boards, which is super good. Not that I advise riding in the rain anyway, because if you've ever done it before, the ground just slips out beneath you and you just have no control. So I don't recommend riding in the wet anyhow. All of the boards are also going to have a massive hill climbing ability of 30% inclines and upwards. So hills are really not going to be an issue for you, especially on our big bad boy here. But all of our boards are still going to have awesome hill climbability anyhow. They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. So just going to do a quick demo on cruise control. All you need to do to exit out of it is press any button or pull the trigger backwards or forwards. To engage, all we're going to do is throttle up to the desired speed, and then we are going to hit the power button on the top here to engage the cruise control. So let's go. That's it. And any button to get out of it, and you're done. Simple as that. We're down here talking about electric skateboard wheel options for your Vortex board. Hopefully this video gives you a bit of an insight as to the range that we offer and what might be most suitable for you. So the first thing to point out, we run the 97mm street wheel as a standard. The main reason being is it provides the most amount of optimal range for your board. The other reason why we run this is because the adapter that it uses is what we call an ABEC adapter, which is this block looking style here with those sort of rectangular sort of pins, I guess you could say, whereas the Kegel is a pin style which is only for the rubber wheels. So by using this ABEC adapter, that allows you to put virtually any type of wheel on your board that we supply, except for the exception of the 115 rubber wheels here, which needs the Kegel adapter if you don't have it already. So the general consensus behind wheel sizes that we like to go by is the smaller the wheel, the more range you're going to be able to achieve. The larger the wheel, the less amount of range you're going to be able to achieve. Typically, in some instances, you'll find that bigger wheels might actually give you a higher top end speed, whereas the smaller wheels might give you a lower top end speed. So generally with our specs, we base them on the 97mm wheels when we quote the range. So obviously if you're going to go to a 155mm wheel, you're not going to get as much range. So something to keep in mind is that your range and speeds are going to vary very heavily depending on the wheel option you've got, the terrain you're riding, and all sorts of other factors. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your choice of wheels. So the first set we have here on the end are the 97mm glow wheels. Now they come in a bunch of colors. I'll show you what they all look like in the dark in a moment. So these wheels here are going to ride much the same as the standard wheels that comes on the board anyway, but they're going to give your board a bit more personality, and it's going to make you stand out a bit more in the dark. Moving on to the 115mm rubber wheels. These personally are probably my favorite wheel because they are super grippy and they are super smooth and just really nice to comfortable ride feel. You will notice a bit of range drop when you go to these wheels because they are quite heavy and whatnot. Moving on to the 120mm cloud wheels. These are probably the most popular wheel of all. They are the best in terms of versatility as to ground clearance, using it on the streets for everyday use or a bit of off-road stuff. These are going to be the most versatile wheel choice. We do also offer these in a 105mm. The reason why we do that is so the carbon mini grom board here is most compatible with the 105s. If you go to a 120mm cloud wheel on the grom board, you're probably going to get wheel bite. So that is the main reason why we carry 105s for the grom board. You can also put them onto any other board if you like as well. So summary of that, biggest wheel option for the grom recommended is 105mm. Every other board is fine. Moving on to the 155 all-terrain wheels. These are going to be the most compatible wheel for off-road use, for you want more ground clearance and whatnot, but keeping in mind it is going to reduce your overall range quite a bit. The other thing with the 155mm wheels, they do come as a complete kit for belt drive or for direct drive boards. So they come with all your adapters and pulleys and everything you need. Just make sure if you've got a direct drive board that you're ordering the direct drive kit and not the belt drive kit, obviously, and you're all good to go. So that kind of wraps that up, guys. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea as to what wheels might be the best for you. So as I say, the smaller the wheel, the longer the range. The bigger the wheel, the less range you're going to be able to achieve. So there you have it, guys. That is the Vortex board range. Hopefully I've covered everything. The only other thing I can mention that we do for them is the skate lights, which are super cool. They adapt on your trucks here, so you can option them with a front and a rear, or just one or the other if you like. Super bright, USB-C rechargeable. I recommend checking those out as well. Feel free to drop a comment below if you want to know anything more. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and hopefully we've answered all your questions today.